Discipline is the architect of inner strength. It is not something you are born with. It is something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. It is the unseen foundation beneath every great life, every unbreakable mind, every steady soul. People often chase motivation, thinking it will carry them through the storms of life, but motivation is fragile. It flickers and dies the moment pain or boredom appears. Discipline, however, stands tall when everything else collapses. It is the quiet force that keeps you moving when your emotions beg you to stop. It is the silent whisper that says, "Get up," when the world tells you to rest. Discipline doesn't demand that you be fearless, it demands that you move despite fear. It doesn't ask you to feel strong every day, it asks you to act with strength even when you feel weak. Every time you wake up early, push through exhaustion, or stay focused in the midst of chaos, you are laying another brick in the fortress of your inner strength. These bricks seem small, even insignificant, but with time they form a wall so strong that no external force can break it. The disciplined person doesn't become unshakable overnight. They become unshakable through thousands of invisible victories no one sees. Weakness is not destroyed in one grand battle. It is slowly starved through daily acts of discipline. Each time you choose structure over impulse, you chip away at the part of you that seeks comfort. You silence the voice that says, "You can do it tomorrow." You replace it with one that says, "Do it now." In this quiet war within, discipline is your greatest weapon. It rewires your brain to crave growth instead of ease, progress instead of pleasure. And when this transformation happens, strength is no longer something you try to have. It becomes something you are. The power of discipline lies in its simplicity. It doesn't rely on luck, talent, or circumstances. It doesn't need applause or recognition. It simply asks for consistency. The strongest minds and most resilient souls in history were not the most gifted. They were the most disciplined. They learned that the body can be trained and the mind can be conditioned. They understood that strength is built not when life is easy, but when life tests your patience, your endurance, and your faith. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they must decide what kind of strength they want. Some people seek the strength that comes from pride or power, but those are temporary illusions. Real strength, the kind that never breaks, comes from discipline, the ability to govern yourself even when no one is watching, to stay true to your purpose even when you are surrounded by distraction. Without discipline, your potential will always remain just a dream. You may have passion, vision, or intelligence, but they will all fade into frustration without the structure to sustain them. Discipline is the bridge that turns chaos into clarity, desire into reality, weakness into power. It doesn't promise comfort, but it guarantees transformation. Every time you choose discipline, you are sculpting your future self, the version of you that can endure, create, and overcome. And one day, when you look back, you will see that your greatest strength was never something you found. It was something you built patiently through the unwavering architecture of discipline. Discipline is not only about control, it is about alignment. It is the process of bringing your mind, body, and actions into harmony with your higher purpose. Most people live fragmented lives. They think one thing, feel another, and do something entirely different. Their energy is scattered, their focus diffused, their willpower exhausted by conflict within themselves. Discipline resolves that conflict. It unites your scattered parts into one directed force. When your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors move in the same direction, you become unstoppable. This alignment does not come naturally. It is forged through awareness and repetition. Every time you say no to distraction, you strengthen your focus. Every time you resist impulse, you strengthen your control. Every time you follow through on a promise you made to yourself, you strengthen your integrity. Slowly, your internal chaos begins to quiet. You no longer waste energy wrestling with hesitation, guilt, or doubt. You move through life with clarity, because your actions now reflect your deepest intentions. To live without discipline is to live divided. One part of you dreams while another sabotages it. One part of you wants change while another clings to comfort. This division keeps you weak. It drains your energy and kills your confidence. You can't trust yourself because you constantly break your own word. Discipline heals this fracture. It teaches you that consistency is a form of self-respect. When you follow your own command, you no longer need validation from anyone else. You become the authority in your own life. Think of a river. Wild, uncontrolled water flows everywhere but goes nowhere. But when directed through narrow banks, it gains power. It carves valleys, moves mountains, generates energy. Discipline is that channel for your inner energy. It does not restrict you, it gives you shape and momentum. Freedom without structure becomes chaos. Structure without purpose becomes rigidity. Discipline is the perfect balance between the two. It gives your freedom direction and your purpose endurance. People often fear discipline because they see it as limitation, as if it takes away their spontaneity or joy. But real joy doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from becoming who you're meant to be. Discipline does not cage you. It liberates you from the impulses that enslave you. It removes the noise, the excuses, the constant pull of distractions, until all that remains is clarity. And in that clarity, life becomes simpler, not easier, but purer. You begin to see how much of your suffering came from your own inconsistency. When you are disciplined, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. You no longer wait for perfect conditions, you act because you've trained yourself to move regardless of how you feel. You no longer depend on fleeting motivation. Your discipline has become your compass. And in that moment, you rise above the ordinary. You operate from a place of intention, not impulse. Discipline is the invisible current that aligns your life with purpose. It is not just about what you do. It is about who you are becoming through what you do. Once you align your inner world, everything outside begins to follow. Strength, confidence, clarity. They are not gifts. They are byproducts of a disciplined mind that knows where it is going and refuses to be led astray. Discipline is the quiet war between the present version of you and the one you are destined to become. Every day, this battle unfolds in silence, in the moments no one sees, in the choices that seem too small to matter. Whether you rise or remain the same depends on which side you feed. Most people lose not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they surrender to their weaker self far too often. They obey comfort instead of commitment, pleasure instead of purpose. But the disciplined person understands that comfort is the assassin of growth. To evolve, you must be willing to suffer a little each day, not through punishment, but through deliberate resistance to the easy path. The essence of discipline is self-mastery. It is the ability to control your own impulses, emotions, and desires before they control you. It's about recognizing that the mind, left unchecked, will always choose the path of least resistance. Discipline steps in as the guardian of your potential, reminding you that the easy road leads nowhere worth going. Every time you force yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, you are training your mind to serve you, not sabotage you. This internal war is not glamorous. There are no crowds cheering when you wake before dawn, when you repeat the same routine for the 100th time, or when you turn away from distractions that offer instant gratification. Yet these invisible moments are where warriors are forged. The world only sees the results, the success, the confidence, the power, but it never sees the hours of invisible resistance that made it possible. The undisciplined mind craves reward. The disciplined mind creates it. Weakness, in truth, is not a lack of strength. It is the refusal to fight this inner battle. When you avoid discomfort, you allow weakness to multiply. It grows quietly in your habits, your thoughts, your excuses, until it becomes the invisible weight holding you down. Discipline breaks this cycle. It is not about perfection, but persistence. You will stumble, you will fall, but every time you get back up, you reclaim authority over your life. Strength is not born in the absence of struggle. It is born through struggle mastered. To master yourself, you must first confront yourself, your laziness, your fear, your doubt. Discipline exposes these shadows. It shines light on the parts of you that seek escape and forces them to evolve. It teaches you that your emotions are not commands, that your moods are not reasons to stop. It shows you that freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. It's having the power to act despite how you feel. In this constant war between ease and effort, the disciplined mind always wins because it fights with purpose. It knows that pain is temporary, but weakness, if left unchecked, becomes permanent. Discipline doesn't destroy you, it refines you. It strips away what is false, what is fragile, what is fearful, until all that remains is something unbreakable. You will not always feel strong, but if you remain disciplined, you will always move closer to strength. And one day, you'll look back at the war you fought within yourself and realize the pain was never punishment, it was preparation. Discipline is the art of choosing long-term strength over short-term satisfaction. It's the moment you decide that temporary comfort is no longer worth the price of permanent regret. The truth is, most people are not destroyed by external forces. They are quietly undone by their inability to control their impulses. They trade the future for the moment, excellence for ease, potential for pleasure, and every time they do, they lose a little more of themselves. Discipline reverses that decay. It is the deliberate act of choosing what you need over what you want, not once, but every single day. When you lack discipline, your life becomes reactive. You move wherever your emotions push you. You rise when you feel good and collapse when you don't. You start things but rarely finish them. Your goals remain ideas because you've never trained your mind to stay steady through discomfort. Discipline, on the other hand, builds an unshakable inner structure. It's the invisible framework that holds your life together when motivation disappears. While others wait for the right mood or the right moment, you act because you've already decided who you are. Discipline transforms decisions into habits, and habits into identity. It stops being something you do and becomes what you are. The power of discipline is not in the act itself, but in what it rewires inside you. Each time you choose the harder road, to work when tired, to focus when distracted, to stay calm when provoked, you're teaching your mind that you are in control. You're reminding yourself that feelings are temporary, but outcomes are lasting. Over time, this repetition builds resilience. You stop needing life to be easy because you've learned to be strong, and that strength becomes your advantage in every arena, physical, mental, emotional. The disciplined person doesn't waste energy fighting circumstances. They've accepted that struggle is a constant companion of growth. Instead of avoiding it, they shape it. They know that every discomfort faced willingly becomes a tool sharpened for the future. They find peace not in escape, but in endurance. That is where real power lies, in the quiet, patient, relentless consistency that transforms effort into excellence. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It guards you from the chaos that comes when you live without direction. It shields your time from being stolen by distractions, your focus from being hijacked by emotion, and your energy from being scattered by indecision. The undisciplined person drifts, the disciplined one builds, and while one ends each day drained by impulses, The other ends it stronger, calmer, and more aligned with their purpose. To master discipline is to master the art of delay, to understand that true satisfaction comes from creation, not consumption. It's knowing that the pain you feel today is an investment in who you'll become tomorrow. Every rep, every routine, every refusal to quit becomes a vote for the future version of you, the one who no longer breaks under pressure but thrives in it. When you choose discipline over indulgence, you don't lose freedom, you gain it. Because real freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Real freedom is being able to trust yourself completely, to know that no matter how hard it gets, you will still move forward. That is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional, the ability to keep going when every part of you wants to stop. Discipline is not about living a restricted life. It's about earning the right to live with power and purpose. The undisciplined man believes freedom is doing whatever he feels in the moment. But that kind of freedom quickly turns into slavery. Slavery to habits, to emotions, to weakness. True freedom begins when you learn to rule yourself. When you can command your mind and body to obey your highest vision, not your lowest impulse, you stop being a prisoner of your moods. Discipline doesn't shrink your life, it expands it. It removes the noise, the distractions, and the endless chaos that come from chasing everything except what truly matters. Discipline is how you build trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise, waking up early, sticking to your plan, saying no when it's easier to say yes, you send a signal to your subconscious that your word means something. You stop being divided between who you want to be and who you are. You start to feel a quiet confidence that can't be faked because it's earned. This kind of self-trust is rare in a world addicted to shortcuts. People chase quick results, fast success, and instant comfort, but none of it lasts because it's built without discipline. What is built fast breaks fast. What is built with discipline endures. To live without discipline is to live in constant friction with yourself. You'll want to grow, yet sabotage your own efforts. You'll want peace, yet feed your distractions. You'll crave confidence, yet betray your commitments. Discipline removes that inner conflict. It aligns your desires with your actions, your words with your reality. When you are disciplined, you no longer need to convince yourself. You know who you are through what you consistently do. The disciplined person understands that the world rewards those who show up every day, not those who show up only when it's convenient. They understand that mastery isn't a burst of effort, but a quiet accumulation of small, consistent victories. Each repetition, each routine, each refusal to quit becomes another thread in the fabric of their strength. Over time, that fabric becomes untearable. They don't need to announce their power. It's evident in their calm, in their certainty, in their results. Weakness often disguises itself as self-care, comfort, or listening to your body. But most of the time it's just fear wearing a gentle mask. Discipline sees through that illusion. It doesn't always feel good, but it always does good. It may break you for a while, but only to rebuild you stronger, more focused, more capable. The truth is, without discipline, you can never experience the full depth of your own strength. You'll never know what you're truly capable of, because you'll always quit too soon. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you're meant to be. It transforms intention into reality. It turns words into actions, and actions into identity. And the beauty of it is that it's available to everyone, not just the talented or the gifted. It doesn't care about your past, your excuses, or your circumstances. It only demands one thing: consistency. Once you embrace that, you realize discipline was never your enemy. It was the silent ally, waiting for you to grow up and claim responsibility for your life. It was never there to limit you, it was there to set you free. Discipline is the quiet bridge between desire and destiny. Everyone wants strength, success, peace, and power, But few are willing to walk the narrow road that leads there. That road is built on routine, sacrifice, and repetition. It's not glamorous, and it's often lonely. But it is the path that transforms potential into power. Discipline is what turns dreams into structure, and structure into achievement. Without it, even the most talented person stays trapped in cycles of wasted effort and emotional chaos. Talent may open the door, but only discipline keeps it open. The undisciplined mind is like a wild horse, full of energy but directionless. It runs in circles, exhausting itself without progress. Discipline is the reins that guide that energy, giving it purpose and precision. It doesn't kill your fire, it controls it. It doesn't silence your passion, it sharpens it. Because without structure, passion burns out. With structure, passion becomes power. The disciplined person learns to ride the fire instead of being consumed by it. Discipline teaches you to value process over outcome. The world is obsessed with results, the applause, the recognition, the finish line. But those things are fleeting. The person who chases only results burns out when things get hard. The person who builds discipline falls in love with the process itself. They show up not because they're guaranteed success, but because they've made showing up a way of life. The process becomes sacred. Through it, they find stability, peace, and identity. This is why discipline is more than just doing difficult things. It's about becoming someone who can be trusted by time. The disciplined man understands that greatness is not built in a single act, but in thousands of small, invisible choices. It's built in the mornings when no one is watching, in the moments when the world is asleep and you're still working. The undisciplined man chases moments of glory. The disciplined man builds a life that becomes glory itself. To live without discipline is to live as a victim of your own impulses. You become reactive, pulled by emotions, distracted by comfort, controlled by fear. Discipline breaks that cycle. It teaches you that you don't need to feel ready to begin, that action itself creates readiness. You stop waiting for inspiration because discipline has made action your default state. That's how you rise. Not through sudden bursts of greatness, but through quiet, repeated defiance of weakness. Discipline doesn't demand that you be perfect, it demands that you keep returning. It's not about never falling, it's about never staying down. Every time you stand back up, you reinforce the message that nothing inside you is stronger than your will, and eventually, that truth becomes unshakable. The storms will come, distractions will tempt you, emotions will rise and fall, but you'll move through them untouched, guided by the rhythm of your discipline. In a world that worships speed and convenience, discipline is rebellion. It's the decision to build what others only wish for. It's the slow, deliberate choice to live by principles, not by impulses. And when you've lived that way long enough, something changes. You no longer chase control because you've become it. You no longer seek strength because you are strength. Discipline has turned you into the kind of person who doesn't need the world to bend because you've already mastered yourself. Discipline is the root from which all forms of real power grow. Every great mind, every unshakable spirit, every leader who stood unbroken before chaos, they were all sculpted by the same silent force, the ability to do what must be done even when they didn't want to. Discipline is not a single act. It's a lifelong conversation between your purpose and your resistance. Every day, life asks you a question. Will you move toward growth or retreat to comfort? The disciplined person answers through action, not words. When you lack discipline, life becomes heavy and confusing. You find yourself repeating cycles of regret, promising change, then breaking that promise again. Each broken commitment weakens your self-trust. You stop believing in your own word, and once that happens, everything else begins to crumble. Without discipline, the mind becomes chaotic, the body weak, and the soul restless. You may still dream, still plan, still talk about what you want to become, but without discipline, none of it ever materializes. It remains trapped in the realm of imagination, slowly fading into frustration. Discipline restores order to that inner chaos. It rebuilds self-trust, one choice at a time. You begin to see that every small act of consistency, every workout, every study session, every hour of focus is not meaningless repetition. It's proof that you can rely on yourself, that you can command your energy, direct your will, and follow through regardless of how you feel. And when that trust returns, so does your confidence. You stop chasing external validation because your strength now comes from the inside. The disciplined person lives by rhythm, not emotion. They've trained their mind to obey principle instead of mood. While the undisciplined one waits for the right feeling, the disciplined one creates it. They understand that emotion follows action, not the other way around. Once you learn that truth, you unlock an immense power, the ability to move when others freeze. You become steady where others panic, consistent where others crumble. Discipline is also the foundation of creativity and freedom. The world often misunderstands this. It sees discipline as limitation, but it's the opposite. When your habits are structured, your mind is free. You no longer waste energy deciding when to start or whether you can do it. The framework is already built. All you need to do is show up. Within that structure, your creativity flourishes, your focus sharpens, and your excellence expands. The undisciplined live like waves, tossed by moods, opinions, and impulses. The disciplined live like mountains, unmoved, patient, and enduring. One reacts, the other creates. One survives, the other transforms. Discipline is the quiet separator between the two, between the ones who talk about changing their life and the ones who actually do. In the end, discipline is not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming whole. It's the practice of aligning your mind, body, and soul into one unified direction. When you reach that alignment, strength is no longer something you chase, it radiates from you effortlessly. The world begins to respond to your steadiness, your focus, your command. Because the truth is simple. Those who master themselves through the sacred discipline of daily action never stay weak. They rise again and again until nothing in this world can break them. In the end, discipline is the difference between merely existing and truly living. It is the silent force that transforms potential into power and chaos into clarity. Without it, even the strongest mind remains fragile, easily swayed by moods and distractions. But with discipline, life gains structure, meaning, and direction. It becomes a steady climb toward mastery, not over others but over yourself. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the highest form of self-love. It's the promise you make to your future self, that you will not abandon them for momentary comfort. It demands sacrifice, but it gives something greater in return: strength, peace, and purpose. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, builds an inner fortress no fear can breach. The undisciplined chase motivation, the disciplined create momentum. The undisciplined seek ease, the disciplined seek evolution. And when life tests both, only one remains standing. The one who trained when no one was watching, who kept showing up long after the excitement faded. So if you have no discipline, you will stay weak forever. But if you build it, even slowly, you will rise beyond weakness into unshakable power, the kind that nothing and no one can take away.